welcome back to another episode of Game of Thrones. Today we are going to look at our fighting body in different events and general PvP battles, which is the dragon. And we are taking a look at certain things about the dragon, like the skills, both passive and active skills. And we're also looking at how they are being used when you're defending your castle, for example, and what the benefits are in how to use them. So basically you can see that the game has basically three dragons. The starter dragon, which you get from basically doing quests and just progressing in the game. Then you have the second dragon, which you will need to grow up and buy from the store for Mark of the True Dragon. It will give you a second egg where this specific dragon will hatch from, which is slightly better than the first one once it gets grown up. And then there's the third dragon, which you have to buy the Sapphire Essence for to get. I also believe that you have to have your first dragon at level 50 before you can get the second dragon, so keep that in mind as well. Dragons has, as I told before, both active skills and then also passive skills that you can put into them. And these different skills will affect how the battle works and how it happens in the battle and how you can basically gain an advantage over your opponent. If you look at the active skills first, that you have to basically manually active. The first dragon has only skills that applies to decreasing your build time on construction or on research. That's just how it is. It's decent. It refreshes every 24 hours and you can basically knock a few hours off your research and buildings every 24 hours, so that's something to keep in mind. Then the second dragon has the ability to harvest nodes instantly. Something that's important to note about this skill is that you do get all your bonuses and stuff from it, but it won't count into events where you have to get points for harvesting, such as Lord of Lords event or Kingdom vs Kingdom event. In these cases the points will not count, but you will still get the resources, but it won't count as points. So just use them whenever you basically need to get a bit of extra resources. And you also still get the resource materials and stuff from the nodes, as far as I remember. The second active skill that the second dragon has is called Dragon Bite. It costs 10 awakening horns, which you can buy in the shop as well for can't remember, I think one horn is for 10 Mark of the Dragon. Oh, it's not one, it's for 5 Mark of the True Dragon. It costs 10 to activate. It basically gives your enemy army that you bite basically an attack debuff, and it also injures X amount of troops based on the level it has. And you can see that there's a cooldown time as well for 4 hours. So it's pretty decent. Can be used for PvP. And then lastly we have the pay to win dragon, the shop dragon, which has, as you can see, several skills. These skills can be total attack increases, can be marching speed increase and army size increase, can be basically just directly killing opponent's troops, or can make you get stuck on the field. One thing that's important to note about the blockade skill is that you can break it by jumping kingdoms, so that's something to keep in mind for KvK, for example. That's why it's important for you to not get into kingdom move time, because if you get struck by the blockade, then you still have the option of moving kingdom and avoid getting hit by several rallies and being stuck in a certain place. And Flaming Breath, of course, is the last one. And you can see like the Sapphire attacks will be increased by 30%, so it's basically a steroid, if you can say like that, for the dragon. Of course, there's also the entire thing here, the passive skills. And you can see here passive skills, there are a lot of varieties you can get for different levels and quality. And then there's of course also different uses for them. Some are for harvesting, others are for defensive or attack bonuses. And in the skill raffle shop you can basically get some for free every day, and you You can see the rewards for each area as well, and in the shop here you can also get skills that you might need. Those are defensive skills only and health skills, but they are not attack skills of gold. If you want to level up your dragon skills faster, I would recommend to buy the, save up for the legendary XP scroll. They give 1k XP for each scroll, so it's basically get a decrease of 200 tokens for every time you buy this, instead of buying 1000 of the common ones. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But we are going to take a more theoretical look at things right now when we switch away from this, so see you guys in a moment. So, as we said before, there's also a theoretical aspect to this. You can see that dragon skills come in different quality, and these qualities also have differences between them. There's the grey quality, which is usually only the 1 XP scrolls, which you can use to basically just try and upgrade your skills. You can see here that they have an XP bar each skill, and the more XP you feed them, the stronger the skills will get over the course of the amount of XP they get. You can see that, for example, infantry health bonus will be at level 1 when it's green, 2.30% bonus instead of the 1.50 that it has to begin with. Then there are green skills, which are the uncommon skills, I believe it's called. They are slightly stronger than the grey one. There's blue, which is slightly stronger than the green. Then purple is stronger than blue. Then gold or yellow, that's stronger than purple. And then red is stronger than any of them. You also have to look at the fact that dragon skills come in 2 variations. There are the army ones that work passively when you have your army there, which of course also have to have your dragon in the battle to actually apply the army bonuses. And then there are the resource ones. There's a lot of people that think that if they have a dragon with resource skills, then they will automatically gather their things in and get the bonuses. And you can see here that there's a gathering speed bonus from the beginning when it's a green skill, I believe. And then there's also it actually might be a purple skill, this one, but then there's also a harvesting bonus that applies once the skill is high enough. The thing that people don't realize is that for this skill to actually activate, you will actually need to have your dragon along with your army on the node. If your dragon is sitting in your castle, then your resource skills are basically not doing anything, and you're just wasting a slot where you could have something else inside. I personally don't really recommend the resource skills unless it's for a specific event like Lord of Lords or KVK. Then if you have your dragon out and you're 100% going to stay bubbled the entire time, I can see why you want to have your dragon out with a resource skill and harvest these nodes faster to get more points in. And have to remember, like, this will still be manually harvested by the dragon as well, and that of course means that the points will actually count in those events compared to when you have the active skill that from the second dragon where you just harvest the node instantly. Something else that's also very important to note between the differences in the skills is, as you can see here, I have a green health badge here, and or skill, and I have a gold skill next to it. And you can see that at level 9, infantry health will be, max health will be 12% increased, whereas a gold skill will have infantry health will be 24% increased. And in rallies this will also apply. That means that in rallies 24% health increase will be as well. And of course there is some of the attack skills also have the added benefit at level 9 when it's gold, that they steal as part of the enemy's power and puts in your own army. This of course means that if you actually want to support your alliance and you want to do well in alliance conquest and stuff like that and have a good dragon for that, you will basically need to have either purple, gold or red skills, because these skills here that we have at the green one, they will only apply to yourself. Even if the dragon joins in a rally, it will only apply to your own castle and your own troops. It won't benefit the alliance as a whole. So basically you lose out on a lot of ability to help and support your alliance. Whereas the gold one, you can see at level 5, the stats will start to apply into the rallies, and it has of course a maximum amount of stacking to it, that you can have a maximum amount of 90% in rallies. But in alliance conquests and generally also in PvP, it's super important that you have dragons that can supply and help others with skills. So having dragons with purple, gold and red skills is a must-have. The difference between gold and red skills is that red skills already at start stealing stats from your opponent. That means that, for example, I have a red health skill, inf skill here. If this dragon, or my dragon, is in a rally and it fights against an opponent, it will take a certain amount of health or infantry health from the enemy and put in the rally that I support instead. And that's why the red skills are super important to have as well. But generally I would say that if you want to support your alliance, you're a free-to-play player, something like that, then purple and gold is of course already decent. But yeah, so purple and above skills have the ability to help in rallies. Anything below won't help in rallies, will only help yourself, and you basically also lose out on a ton of stats, because you can see like the gold one has like double the amount of stats and the green one has maxed out. So of course it costs more. You can see also it costs 4 times the amount of XP to actually get level up level 1 to level 1 just between those two. But personally I would say it's worth having gold and purple skills just to help in the rallies. So keep that in mind when you're going into AC and you're having a dragon set up for success. There are also certain things that's good to know in general about dragon skills. And first part is that we have an event, I believe it's called Battle of the Long Night or something like that, which has this progress bar where you have to do certain tasks and so on as a kingdom as a whole. And once you have reached a certain milestone, it will unlock different options for you. And one of those options in this event is that it opens up a shop where there are special red dragon skills, among also red attack skills for troops and army skills and so on. Something that's really important to note is that during the time that specific event is active, there will also be in the shop for 50 BD, which also can be decreased with coupons and other things, ability to buy keys. These keys you don't have to use in between events. You can buy them over time in this event and save them up. And you can also buy them from the shop and save them up that way. They don't have to be used when you buy them, during the duration you buy them, and in the time period where the event is going. You can just save them up for a couple of months, and once you reach a certain milestone, you can maybe get X amount of fragments if you use 300 keys. Then save up to 300 keys and use it, and then try and get the fragments and pick whatever skill suits you best. Something that's also important to note is that this specific offer resets every day. So you can basically buy for 50 blue diamonds, or black diamonds, sorry, every single day during the time the event is going. And you can maybe also buy the higher tier pack if you want to do that, and it will still reset back to 50 the next day. So that's like a good thing to keep in mind for those that actually want to invest in dragon skills and try and get better dragon skills. Another thing that's good to keep in mind is that during the time that you're getting attacked by other players, the wall has the option to have both dragons, or have 2 dragons to defend, and you can set a dragon that's not there as a backup dragon, if you can say it like that. So it basically just defends with whatever dragon that's in the city. The reason why this is good is because when you're defending, the skills of both dragons apply, which means that you have to play this very smartly with the dragons and your passive skills and how to put them into the dragon. and how to boost your army the best. But we'll take a look at that in the game right now. So be right back. So now we're back into the game again. Some things that's good to know, or generally good to have, is that if you're a free-to-play player or a general player, I would recommend to have a dragon that focuses on your frontline specifically, and then a second dragon that focuses on bolstering up your offensive power. The main reason for that is that if you are in a situation where you're getting attacked by someone and you have both your dragons there to basically help out your stats, then having a dragon that's really strong in terms of having in your front line helps you being able to keep your front line in place and defend. Whereas if you focus on the offensive powers of your army on the second dragon, then it allows you to basically have an offensive and defensive dragon. And this can also be applied to Alliance Conquest, for example, where if you have a dragon that's specifically just matched for your front line, then it's easier for you to send that specific dragon to an outpost where a person might require a certain type of troop or has a certain type of front line that matches yours, and that way your dragon can do a much bigger benefit there than it could just having random skills inside it. Something else that's also really good to know about dragons is that you are not able to post the same type of skills into a dragon. You can see here it will say that the skill is already selected, but if you have a skill of a lower quality, let's see, for example, if we take the infantry attack here and we have an infantry attack there, then both skills will be applied. Something else that's also important to note is that these skills will actually stack with each other and make their specific stats stronger. You can see here that right now I have in rally and in solo 19.30% infantry attack, and if you look at this, you can see that this one has 8.30 and this one has 11, so to combine it gives 19.30%. Of course, this does not mean that it's impossible to use the same kind of skills on dragons. If you go to this one, you can, for example, see here that I can put in an infantry health here, and I can go into this one and put an infantry health in here as well, and you can see that both are applied. When you're being attacked, both of these will combine still and help you protect your troops as well, or actually increase your stats as well, when both dragons are participating in the fight, for example when you're getting attacked by someone. So like, you can basically make a combination of things to make it work in your favor. I personally would recommend that you have one dragon for your front line, focused on your front line with maybe some attack skills for your front line, health and defense skills maybe, and maybe if you have the money, maybe one or two special skills that you can get from the Battle of the Long Night event. And then your second dragon focuses on your second and third rows, maybe attack skills, and that way you can have a pretty bulky defense and give yourself a pretty big upgrade if you have all of the skills above level 5 and they are purple and gold. This, of course, I would say is mainly like, the main focus would be probably to have infantry or spear or cav skills, and if you can get your hands on them, then also use the army or totals skills. They are for total attack, total defense and total health, but the red ones you can only get in Battle of the Long Night, I believe, and I'm not sure. I believe back when the Future released, there were a few, there might have been some purple skills of them that have been released, maybe also gold, I can't remember entirely. But if you have them at green or blue, I would highly recommend you to not use them, because they won't apply to rallies, so it will be of no use in Alliance Conquest. unless you only want it for yourself and you are willing to switch out your skills between events. But that was like basically the main things that can be covered in this dragon. If you have any questions or anything, you can write it down in the comment below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, below helps out. And if you want to play the game or you want to be part of the Game of Thrones Discord, everything's going to be in the description, as well as the music where I found it. And yeah, that's going to be it for me this time. So take care, have fun, and good luck with everything in the game. Bye bye!